this is my chatbot. I'm gonna run it now. Drag it into this window. Alright, so the main thing you'll notice immediately is there's a black thing going on here. I also moved the send button here, so it's more like a traditional chat. So now if I say something like hello, we'll get a message back with my name, because we've set the bot to include my name and whatnot. And it has a few other commands, right? Some fun ones like bar, like state, we'll say. And then there's like a nice command where it says where is IST261, so Willard building. And there's some even cool ones, like I get to calculate 2 plus 2, looks like calculation 1. And this is not like a hard-coded thing. It can actually do everything. Calculate plus the calculation. And if I do an invalid calculation, right, so that I'll say something went wrong, and then sometimes you can give an incorrect operator. So if I do something like 2 parentheses 2, let's say invalid operation combined. I'm going to go ahead and restart the program here because we run out of space eventually. And drag it back here. Alright, so I'm just going to do a list of commands here. So we can also generate a random number. So I could do generate random number, and we'll see it'll generate a random number. And I'm just going to copy this so we can show you that it's truly random. We can also flip a coin. Also coins, flip heads, and that's about it for commands. There's also some missed testing commands like for food and also football, right? So it's kind of how that works. And you'll see the nice matrix too. It's a green text the bot responds in, and it's a white text in here, and it's a black background. Close the program here. Because in the way the code works, right, is it by default has an invalid command, right? To say if it just because ultimately now response the value should change as checks with commands. So if it doesn't match with any of these, it'll just fall back on I didn't quite get that, right? And it also just is like a preference thing. I convert everything to lowercase, just I don't want to type them as uppercase. So you can see the command is equal to hello. It'll say hello username, we are just basic string-based commands, right? And then here we have some logic-based commands, right? So we have the output and the calculation failed. So this basically just tracks like if something was like incorrect, like they gave an incorrect operator, we have to handle this. And we have the output variable, which is by default 0. So what we do is we split the string that we get like a string, right? If you do calculate 2 plus 2, we just split out the spaces and we get the first item, and if it's equal to calculate, that means we're doing it's a calculation, right? And then it begins the calc logic, right? And then it tries to get the first number. We convert that string into a double, and do the same thing with the operation. Well, the operation we don't convert to a double, we just put it as a string. And then for the number 2, we do the same thing we did with number 1. And then it's just some debug statements here. And then here we have the if statements to handle the operation. So depending on what string it is, we do the appropriate calculation, right? So plus, minus, multiplication. We even have modulus. Right? And then if all of these don't run, that means something they didn't give a correct operator, so we fall back on the calculation fail. And then if the calculation failed, it'll say invalid operation provided. And if that isn't the case, it'll say calculation wrong with the output of the output we generated. Right? There's also an overarching error catching, so like if something else goes wrong, like I think if they don't space it up, it'll cause an error, which we try to catch here, and we handle something wrong. Generate a random number is just a pretty standard random number generation. We do math.random times 10 to get like whole numbers. So it's just all decimals, right? And then we convert it to a string, so we can render it. And then we have a simple little flip a coin script here. If it generates a random number that's less than 0.5, it's going to flip heads, else it'll flip tails. And then here we just have the standard chatbot logic, like the debug statements here, and then we'll finally return the response. As for the UI, the main thing is to like get everything aligned. Like I just played around with the set location and the size. So that's all I did to adjust that. And then you can see I did some like, this sets the background black. This also, kind of redundant, I guess, but it sets it black and then sets the text to be white. created here, and this is where I adjusted the placement. And then to go into the kind of like the button listener, I just basically took the code that we're using in the, I believe, I might be mixing this up now, but basically put the whatever we had input text listener and the button listener here. So we just simply take the logic. Oh, this is also another thing. If you enter an empty message, it'll say empty message actually. And then add the text to the pane, and just the standard logic we kind of already had. The only thing that really changed was I included it here, and I also included the changes. So here I think the user is white, and the on screen, and same thing here. One thing I do realize is probably missing is that if you click enter, it doesn't have this empty message sticker. But that's just something. Yeah, that's all there is to it.